All right, Mr. Lockhart has a note here on one of these tickets. Did you send a note to the court, Mr. Lockhart?
Yes, I did.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's video where we're dealing with one of those self-taught legal experts who clearly doesn't grasp how the law works. Judge Perkins ends up giving him a free 30-day trip to the jail's law library. This is part one of a great two-part series. So let's jump in.
No.
Was your first mistake court appointed? Counsel is there to assist and can advise you if you choose to represent yourself. As this individual is about to learn, a degree from the University of Google doesn't hold much weight in a real courtroom.
Your offer to contract and do not agree to these proceedings. All right, so what do you want to do?
I'm here under threat, duress, and coercion. I'd like to say for the record, my name is Jamil of the family Lockhart.
Let's get the record established. This is the city of Detroit versus Jamel Amir Lockhart. Appearance for the record, please, counselor.
Rita White, House Counsel, on behalf of Mr. Jamil Lockhart.
All right, Mr. Lockhart.
No one is representing me on my behalf.
Don, T-Worry the court will make its authority over you perfectly clear before this trial wraps.
Go ahead, Mr. Lockhart.
Yeah, so I am Jamil of the family Lockhart, flesh and blood, living man, and attorney in fact for Jamil Lockhart and Legis Trust. I'm here by threat, duress, and coercion. I'm here making a special appearance, and I'm here to demand that the court prove jurisdiction over me as a live flesh and blood man.
Let's begin with your loose use of the term human being, and then look at Michigan Court Rule 3.100A4, which clearly states that misdemeanors fall under the jurisdiction of Michigan's district courts. That rule gets its authority from Article 6, Section 5 of the Michigan Constitution, which empowers the state Supreme Court to set rules for all Michigan courts. And don't forget the 10th Amendment, which allows states to govern themselves as long as their laws don't conflict with federal law or the U.S. Constitution. So, yes, this court definitely has jurisdiction over you.
As I said, I submitted a challenge to jurisdiction. Jurisdiction must be proven and proven on the record. And then also I submitted Freedom of Information Act request for your foreign registration statement and anti-bribery statement, as well as that of prosecutor. There is no contract. Every presentment that was made to me was formally rejected and sent back to the court, which is what you have a copy of, by my notary. I do have a live witness notary who can come in and testify to that fact. Given that there is no commercial contract, no commercial agreement, I fail to see how the court has jurisdiction. Furthermore, there's been no injured party, and there's been failure to state a claim through a verified affidavit. So if someone can prove to me how this statutory commercial court has some kind of jurisdiction over me as a live flesh and blood human being, I think we could start there.
Explain how you're both listening and talking at the same time, because that's the issue with people like this. Their lack of basic social awareness runs so deep that if you think the awkwardness ends with this Zoom hearing, think again.
Well, let's start here. You have a notice is not what you think notice should be. Notice is what is if it's properly effectuated in the court rule. And I'll certainly give you whatever hearing that you want if you file the proper motions and material to contest that. I'll give you an opportunity to be heard on that. But furthermore, what I'm looking at is I have a proof of service.
There is no proof of service that was rejected and sent back to the court. You have a copy of that.
You're not even listening. You're not even going to listen. I listen to what you said. Are you going to listen to me?
I am listening to you. I'm just responding to you.
And answered no need to repeat it.
So why don't you listen before you start making statements?
Oh, you had paused. I
What
thought you were
it is
finished.
and what it isn't.
Well, go ahead.
Are you giving me permission to go ahead now too, right? All right.
I assumed you were done speaking.
All right. Listen, I have a envelope with certified mail. I don't know what I believe the contents have been stapled to the envelope. It's got a proof of service effectuated by Nyla Perrin. I have a signed complaint here, signed by Officer Randy Randolph on 11/19/2019.
Is he here today?
Well, we can get him in here. Today is only date and time is set for arraignment. So you're just being arraigned, and what the arraignment purposes of the arraignment, and let's go through the whole thing, is you're here for a expired plate ticket. That is a civil infraction that carries a $145 fine. There's an allegation that you did not have a drove while license not valid or improper. That is a misdemeanor offense, punishable by 93 days at the maximum by 93 days in jail and or $500 in fine. On the same day and time, it was an allegation that you did not provide proper insurance. That is a misdemeanor, as it's written here, and that is punishable by the maximum possible penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. There's also a warrant for your arrest for an allegation of an improper, not valid driver's license. So today is the date and time set for arraignment. You have the option of pleading guilty, not guilty, or standing mute. If you stand mute, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. What would you like to do, sir?
I am here under threat, duress, and coercion to demand
You're
that
not
this
here under threat, duress, or
prove some
coercion.
kind of jurisdiction. And until jurisdiction has been proven,
Yeah. Telling the judge who holds your freedom in his hands that he needs to do something isn't the smartest move. A respectful request through a properly filed motion is the way to go. Talking over the judge and making demands is a fast track to a contempt charge and a trip to jail.
ask you, is this proceeding taking place under common law?
This proceeding is taking place in accordance to the court rules and the statutory laws of the state of
good.
Michigan.
So I am not a creature of statute. I am not under statutory law. I would demand that this proceeding take place under common law, as I am a live flesh and blood human being, under no authority but that of God.
All right. I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm going to give you another court date. I don't have any
All I need you to do is prove jurisdiction.
You don't tell me what you need me to do, sir. Don't do that.
That wraps up his first court appearance, which should have ended there. But instead, he chose to stay on the Zoom call through the rest of the docket just to keep arguing with the judge. Let's just say this is a perfect example of how not to defend yourself in court.
Finish.
With all due respect, the court must prove jurisdiction.
I understand that. We can get this over with quicker rather than later if you let me do my job. What I was trying to say, you're making your claim and stating your case that the court doesn't have jurisdiction over you. In order for me to properly review that and go, it's got to be done according to the court rules. I need a motion, and I will read that motion.
I have submitted a motion to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
I don't have it. I don't have it in front of me. And then I'll give you a motion.
I have a timestamped copy of it if you'd like me to show you.
All right, you got to submit it to the court. Look at the.
It was filed by the clerk just 2 days ago.
Okay,
I have a
well, it hasn't
timestamped copy of it.
It hasn't got to the file. I'm going to give you another pretrial date.
I would like to say I do not consent. The court has to prove jurisdiction. I filed that document a few days ago. Anything short of that is an admission that there is no jurisdiction and we have no further business. We have no contract.
Do you not understand how the legal system works? The Sixth Amendment guarantees your right to legal counsel. Whether you choose to use it is your decision. But it's important to realize how many people go through the court system without even knowing they're entitled to free legal help. If the default was just letting everyone defend themselves without offering counsel, we'd see far more people making the same mistakes you're making and unintentionally setting themselves up for failure by going pro.
Family law card here.
Okay, you're still, did you have a question, sir?
None other than just stating that I do not consent to these proceedings and I do
You've
not
already
accept
put
any
that on, you've
contract.
already put that on the record.
Okay, good.
You came back in.
I would also like to ask why this Mrs. Rita White had claimed to represent me.
All right, let's go back on the record where Mr. Jamil Lockhart. How old are you, sir?
I am 27.
That's not how it works. You filed your motion just 2 days ago, so it likely hasn't even been scheduled yet. Filing a motion isn't some automatic get-out-of-jail-free card. It has to be reviewed and set for a hearing, and the prosecutor usually needs to be present since they'll likely want input on whatever decision the court makes, just like you do.
You're 27 years old, and you go ahead and you ask why Miss White is here to represent you. Well, first and foremost,
Why did she claim to represent me and I have no knowledge?
I'll explain to you. First and foremost, she's the House counsel for this evening. So for this afternoon, she represents anybody who wants her representation as far as helping them to navigate and to defend themselves.
I have never expressed that want to her.
This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Any questions?
Why do you talk over people?
Well, I assume we were having a conversation. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
I am trying to have a conversation, but one's got to talk and one's got to listen.
Okay, go ahead.
You asked why Miss White said she represented you. Miss White said she represented you because she didn't know beforehand the position that you were going to take. So she's just merely
quite an
doing
assumption.
her job.
That is quite an assumption. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, by the name that you put up on there, Jamil of the family Lockhart,
That is
I wasn't surprised I wasn't surprised the avenue that you were going to take on that. Just
I'm
by the
glad you
name.
recognize
But I
where
can't-
I'm going.
But she's not going to assume. I don't believe she's going to assume that she's going to treat you any differently than anyone else. And then you said that you didn't want her representation, and she.
Wouldn't you agree that for future reference, it might be better to ascertain that kind of information before she makes that kind of statement to everybody?
No.
You don't think so?
Is basically waste the oxygen that trees and oceans work so hard to produce.
Explain to you. And this is just for your information. You say that you filed it with the court and the clerk down at the window, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But typically you want to, when you do your filings, that's why you want to have a judge's copy, and you want to specifically have that copy hand delivered to the judge's chambers. So we don't rely on the court clerks downstairs at the windows to make sure that these files get put into the proper place. You're not going to make.
Who do you rely on for that?
You're making, and because you don't want to make that assumption that that file is going to get into the correct file. You don't want to make that assumption. Would you agree?
Who do you rely on to make sure that filed documents get into the right place, get into
The person that's filing it, yourself.
So it is not, you're telling me it's not the duty of the clerk to ensure that documents are filed in the case where the judge can view those documents.
Right? That wraps up part 1. Part 2 will be out in a couple of days. It's a bit longer, but trust me, the ending is definitely worth the wait.
On my capacity That document was sent to the court. It was sent to the court by a notary. So I do have a live witness to attest to that fact. It has also been timestamped. That was recorded as well. I have checked all my boxes when it comes to notifying the court. I've also given you a demand for your Freedom of Information Act request for your
I don't have
foreign
any of that.
registration statement and your anti-bribery statement. The idea or the fact that you do not have that is an issue. And it would mean that you are committing a crime against me and holding this statutory proceeding and trying to confuse me as a live flesh and blood man, that I am a corporation beholden to the corporation which you represent. And that is my main point here today, is to tell you that I am not under your jurisdiction. I am a live flesh and blood man. You've already stated that this is not a common law proceeding. I am under no law but common law. We have no commercial contract which would enter us into any kind of statutory law.
Okay.
So
Sir,
I failed to
let me
see
stop.
the
Let me
issue.
stop you.
And there's
Let me-
also
let me
no
stop you,
verified complaint with a
Let me stop you,
signed
sir.
affidavit.
Sir, let me stop you. And I'll let you put that on the record. I'll let you put it on the record already. We've already done those things. So, I'm gonna end it.
What you're
I'm gonna
committing
end
here
it.
is a fraud against the people.
You enjoyed the video. Go ahead and leave a like if not. Feel free to hit dislike. Either way, drop a comment below and don't forget to subscribe, with notifications turned on so you never miss a new upload.
Okay. Whatever your position
And
is.
without your foreign registration statement, that's an admission that you are here as a criminal actor.
Okay, sir, I'm gonna end the hearing now. Club.
And I do not consent to
And I'm
any
gonna
further
remove
hearings on this issue or this matter. We have no valid contract. We failed to prove jurisdiction. There is no valid claim.
All right, you've
I do
already
not
said
consent.
that, sir. I've already let you make a record, and I don't want you to mention any more because I'm gonna hold you in contempt of court, okay? So I'll let you make your record. I set a
You can
date.
do whatever you feel like you need to do. I'm here to
set a
tell
date
you
of
that
March
I am not under
25th,
your
sir.
jurisdiction.
All right, have a great day.